Hey, Andy. Um, it's been, it's been interesting. Um, yeah, coming back from the Thanksgiving holiday didn't quite work out as planned. My car broke down about 6 hours from home, so I had to leave it up there to get repaired, and I went back up 2 days ago to pick it up after the mechanics said it was done. Started driving it back and got about 2 hours closer to home and realized they didn't fix it. So had to deal with a couple of other shops that weren't able to work on it, and then found one that was. Managed to get it fixed enough that I could limp it the rest of the 4 hours to get it home. And it's in the garage right now, and I'll take it into a mechanic here where I live. But yeah, I had to rent a car to drive home 6 hours after it broke. Then I rented a car to drive back up there 6 hours to pick it up. Had to get a hotel room to stay overnight, because then there was another 8-hour drive to bring it back in the morning, and then that 8-hour drive turned into 10 hours because of realizing it wasn't really fixed and trying to find a mechanic and all that sort of stuff. So the last couple of days have been a little hectic, but what can I say? Par for the course for this year. It's been a trying year, but I just roll with the punches. So I see from the chat, what's going on with you? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Whoa, that's not good. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Wow, yeah, man, that'll do it. Those things are horrific. I haven't had one, but I've had friends that have, and yeah, they're bad. But I mean, 6 millimeters, that's like a quarter of an inch here in Imperial units. So yeah, that's huge. Oh yeah, and I'm sure you're going to be feeling that recovery for a while. I hope they gave you some decent painkillers to go along with it. Well, at least that part's good to hear. But yeah, good luck going through all of that. Like I say, I know it's a difficult thing, so yeah, you never really believe it until it happens to you. One of those things with your body, everything's going along perfectly fine as far as you know, and then just up and hits you. You never really are aware of it. Glad you're here too, man. Thanks. And like I say, I wish you a speedy recovery for, throughout the rest of it. So, as always, thank you for being here. Well, I know a couple of things that we're up to because of the trip. I didn't get back until late last night, so I didn't have a lot of time. I had a couple hours this morning to do the things off that I said I was going to do off stream after the recording last week. But that was about it. So I didn't have time to test anything out for this week. So I know a couple of things we're going to do. We're going to go through. We're going to first off and head down and explore the ships on the river coastline. We're going to go through and disarm all the traps down there. We're going to have a fight down there by the shore. Then we're going to come back up and we're going to go through the Circus of Last Days. And definitely some things that we want to do in there, and we definitely want to get into... or we want to deal with the genie and get sent off to the other location. But then after that, I'm going to take suggestions from all of you. We'll see how much time we have left and kind of go from there. We might end up at the Open Hand Temple. We could end up going into Worm's Rock Fortress. I mean, we could be doing a few things. I'll kind of leave it up to you guys and take suggestions once we get farther through the episode. Or further through the episode. But yeah, just didn't have a lot of time to test it. I'm good to go on the Dragon Age playthrough. I've played that quite a bit, so I'm quite a bit ahead, so I know what we're going to be doing for that one. But normally I like to test out things before. I don't think there's a lot that I can get into here in Rivington and Worms Crossing that's going to be able to party wipe me. So I don't think there's a real big deal with me not having tested anything out, but just means that I haven't gone through all the steps that I normally would. Well, thanks, man. I certainly look forward to it as well. So I'm glad to be back this week. Hey, Rudy, welcome. Thanks for being here, and good evening to you as well. Welcome, everyone, to today's live stream, episode number 35 of our Baldur's Gate 3 Honor Mode gameplay series. I'm Commander Jarval, and I want to thank you for coming along on our journey today. So, on some admin notes, the patch that I mentioned during the recorded episode concerning mods and that sort of stuff for console, the mod limit on console, they've gone in and actually implemented that hotfix. That was done on December 4th of this week. And they have some notes on best practices for how to make sure that consoles are remaining stable with various mods. Mods have become a really big thing in the game, and Larian has gone out of their way to support them. But as such, the consoles, because of their inherent limitations in performance and things like that go along with them, are going to have some issues when you start trying to overload them. And that's kind of where this hotfix is based. Simply because they've run into issues where I think they said only 3% of the gaming population runs more than 100 mods at a time, but why limit the player base to doing whatever they want? So they've now run into an issue on the console, so they have to implement a stability fix, basically limiting you to 100 mods total, and they have some information about that. There's going to be a future update coming out about how to redo saves that have already been saved with more than 100 mods, so that you can go back and play with those. And that's kind of what they're trying to roll out now, is trying to make sure that they've got all of that working. So we'll be kind of checking out on that later on. And Dinosaur Copilot, welcome. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. So the next big thing is, this always happens whenever I go out of town for something. Larian decides to drop some huge note on everybody, and that is no different this time. On November 27th, the week before Christmas, or the week before Thanksgiving holiday here in the United States, Larian dropped a community update, number 30. And quite honestly, this shocked the community. It wasn't something that anyone was expecting. You can go through and look at content creators' videos they put out concerning this community update, and no one knew this was coming. There had not been a hint of this anywhere, and it's amazing. So coming in probably January, we're going to get another huge update from Larian, and this, again, I say this every time, but this will probably be the last one. It's going to come with a bunch of new features. The first is cross-play. Now that's amazing. Being able to boot up a PC and play with Mac and console players is something that's been highly requested. The logistics of that are incredibly hard. That's why cross-play is still fairly rare in a lot of games. And especially when mods have become such a big thing, ensuring cross-play is going to work with all the mods is something else. The fact that Larian has come out and said that they are going to be bringing crossplay to the game is incredible. It's an immense amount of work, and I'm a little shocked that they're putting that amount of work into this game at this point, well over a year after it's been released. They're also going to bring in photo mode. Now, this has been requested by a certain portion of the community for a very long time. Being able to pose your characters, do emotes, quote unquote, being able to free position a camera outside of the limited views that are available in the game. And then Larian's also adding some editing, photo editing into the photo mode, so you can add stickers and you can add icons and text and all sorts of stuff on top of it. It's like a mini photo editor inside of the game. It's again crazy. You don't know. I'm speechless. You can tell. I'm normally much better with my words than this. But Larian is going to have a photo mode, and you can go to the community update and take a look at it, and you can see. The last thing in patch 8 is what got all of the community really, really excited. Now, the first two things, huge amounts of excitement for. This is where Larian sets a new bar for game developers. They are going to introduce in patch 8 12 new subclasses. One for each class that is in the game. This is entirely new content, entirely new abilities, spells, all that sort of stuff that goes along with each of these subclasses. I'm not going to go through them all. Feel free to go through the patch notes, but there is one brand new subclass for every class in the game. Now, a couple of them that are incredible are the Path of Giants subclass for the Barbarian. This is, in tabletop, this is your prototypical throwing Barbarian class. It gives you additional size and strength. When you go into Giant's Rage, you deal additional throwing damage. And it's, like I say, in tabletop, if you're doing that throwing build, the Path of Giant subclass is the way that you end up going to do it. So, depending on where we are in our playthrough at that time, that might be something that gets changed too. The Monk is finally going to get Drunken Master. Now, this is something that the community has been asking for a very long time. Especially since we have the Drunken items in the game already. We fully expected there to be a Drunken Master subclass, and there wasn't. But now you get things like Intoxicating Strike, and that sort of stuff, which is going to get you a bonus to your armor class, and increase your chance to hit drunk targets, because when you hit them with an Intoxicating Strike, they become drunk. And then you also have the reverse of that, where you can, if you've inflicted drunk upon a target, you can sober them up, and that will inflict psychic damage on them. The tabletop version's got a few other things in it. I'm really interested to see kind of where this goes, but that might be something really intriguing to try out. And then the last thing is, again, the single most requested subclass in this game is the Warlock Hexblade. This is from Xanathar's Guide to Everything. This is a supplemental rule set in tabletop. Since it was highly requested, Larian implemented portions of the Hexblade subclass into the game through various patches. This is going to bring that subclass fully into the game, and I am incredibly eager to see what all they have brought in from it. The Hexblade Warlocks have made a pact with the Shadowfell from a powerful entity in the Shadowfell to gain a whole bunch of additional abilities, and I'm extremely anxious to see how this can implement into the game fully, since we've been trying to do it for so long. So, amazing stuff coming from Larian in the early part of next year. Keep an eye out. Feel free to go to Steam and look at the community update that Larian has put out about it. And I think that's all for our admin notes. So, on our recap, at the end of last week's episode, we had gone through a bunch of early areas inside of Rivington and a little bit into Worms Rock Crossing. And at the end of last week's episode, we had gotten into a fight in the basement of Worms Rock Crossing, or of Danthalon's Dancing Axe, and taken out some shapeshifters and saved a Harper while we're there. So let's go ahead and jump in here, and we'll kind of look at a few things that I have done off stream that I said I was going to do. Hey Jerry, welcome. No, I never did. Well, I take that back. Unidentified flying objects, we saw a lot of those in the military. There were a lot of things that were out there flying that we couldn't identify at some times, especially at night when you're trying to look at them through thermals or night vision. But no, never anything in the classical sense that people think of when I deal with that. But yeah, a lot of strange things that you see all the time. So here we are back in the basement of Danthalon's Dancing Axe. Now, what I said I was going to do off stream was I was going to go level up I was going to bring all the attitudes of all the vendors up. I have done that. I have gone through and purchased all of the gear that I wanted to purchase at this stage, so I have all of that here. And I've also purchased all of the potions and elixirs that I wanted to up to this point. I've gone through and I've cleaned up everybody's inventory, and I have made a couple of changes to gear and outfits. The first is that Astarion has the Horns of the Berserker, so he's now going to be doing an additional 2 necrotic damage as long as he doesn't have his full health. But also a +2 bonus to his attack rolls when attacking creatures that have already taken damage. So another big +2 for him going forward. I have brought Karlach back into the party. Karlach doesn't look like Karlach because she is shapeshifted into a dwarf, and that's because she is now using the Dwarven Thrower. Talked about this last week in the recording. I'm not going to go through it again, but we definitely want to swap over to this now. She's also gained some other items here. So she does have the Bone Spike Garb, so when she rages, she's going to gain 10 or 15 temporary hit points, and all of her incoming damage is reduced by 2. She also has a bit of a retaliation build going here because her armor class is never going to be all that high. Even with her unarmored defense bonus from Constitution, she's never going to have all that high on armor class, so she's going to get hit quite a bit. And here when she gets hit, the attacker is going to take 3 piercing damage. She also is going to have the Flesh Melter Cloak, so that whenever a creature deals melee damage to her, that creature is going to take 1d4 acid damage as well. So kind of a bit of a retaliation build here for her. She does have the Uninhibited Kishigo Gloves for the 1d4 bonus to throw attacks. She also has the Ring of Flinging, which adds another 1d4 bonus to throw damage. I gave her the Callous Glow Ring. A lot of the targets here are going to be illuminated that she's going to be fighting against, because she can't fight in darkness because she doesn't have a way to see in darkness right now. That will be corrected here in a little bit, but not right now. Then I gave her the Evasive Shoes that we bought. Since she's unarmored, these give her a +1 bonus to her armor class and their clothing, so they don't take away that bonus. She also has the Hellrider Longbow, so she's going to gain a +3 bonus to initiative rolls. She already has Alert, so this is going to make sure that she goes relatively early, if not first, every time in the initiative order. And that's going to be a big bonus since she can't see in darkness, to be able to get her throwing attacks off early on in the combat. So I think that's most of the changes that I have made. Oh, Shadowheart also got the Cloak of Displacement that we picked up as well. So other than that, I think that's about it. Now, you will notice that everybody right now is steeped in bliss, and that's because I had Astarion go to camp and pick up the Resonant Stone. So all creatures are steeped in bliss, which means that everybody who's under this has advantage on physical checks and disadvantage on the spellcasting saving throws. Intelligence, Wisdom, and Charisma. However, what's more important is that the entities are also vulnerable to psychic damage. So if I'm going into a fight where I don't expect a lot of spells to be cast on me, and that disadvantage to my party on those saving throws isn't a big deal, I can make sure that Astarion has the psychic damage passive activated, and he can walk up to enemies and make them vulnerable to psychic damage. That's also going to go along with the Render of Mind and Body, so psychic damage ideal from that is also going to be doubled as well. And so there's kind of a way to buff our psychic damage in certain encounters that we're not going to be too worried about making saving throws against spells. Okay? And that's kind of what we're going to get into today. So I said I didn't have a time to prep for this one, but I do know a couple of things that we're going to do. And the first is we're going to head down here, and we're going to explore the shoreline all the way around over to here. Okay, so let's head back to the south span. And we will head back down to the shore. We're not going to head down this way. We're going to kind of move down this way first. Okay, you saw a key pop up there. We're going to deal with that key a little bit later once we get to Sword Coast Couriers. Which we might do today. It'll be all entirely up to y'all. Okay, so let's pick up this dagger root. And again, inside, like I said, inside of the Iron Hand hideout here, we have upgraded Bumpnagel in there and purchased a bunch of his Flash Blinder potions, so we're able to deal with the robots. Why can't I remember their names? The Steel Watchers really easily. So I'm going to cast Guidance on Shadowheart.
This way.
Okay, she's gonna go out here and pick up a few things. Why didn't she pick up the Autumn Crocus? Let's go, Shadowheart. I clicked on it. Thank you. I don't think there's any Speak with the Dead here, but... Oh, there is.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
I actually don't remember this.
Man buying heirlooms. Vulture challenged him. Brothers died on the road. Man tried to buy. None. Pushed. Felt bones break. Darkness. Garrod.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
You know, 1,500 hours, well over 1,500 hours, and I don't remember that conversation. I'll have to go do some researching to see if there's anything involved with it. Because, like I say, honestly, I don't remember ever having it. One thing I love about this game. I'm still finding stuff all these hours later. Okay, and then right when you come down here, you're going to be getting a survival check there. And another one there. Okay, so we'll just go pick up some things and do a little searching down here. Oh, that's an awesome scroll to get. I bought one of those a little bit ago. I want at least a couple of those for later on in Act 3. If you see them, they're expensive. They're really expensive. Even after you've upgraded a vendor, they're still really expensive. But go make sure you have at least a couple of them. Preferably 3 or 4, but at least a couple. Okay, so there's going to be a few baskets and things like that you can search down here, like I say. In honor mode, you pick up everything. Okay, I'm going to break the group here real quick.
Hey, good looking.
Yes, let's.
I want to go up here and I want to move these boulders out of the way.
All is ashen meat. Light on my feet.
Okay, and there's a cave mouth here. Okay. Now, inside of this cave mouth, you get into this here. This is, we're not going to do this yet. This is part of another quest that you're going to get from the Open Hand Temple. You can do this right now if you would like. There's no particular order that you have to do it in. But we're not going to do it right this second. That's why we came in here in hiding. Just to show you what it was, but we're not going to adventure this way yet.
If not over, then through. I'll take that.
As you can kind of see where we are, we're kind of along the coast here. And kind of see we've gone underneath Worms Rock, or the Worms Crossing Bridge. So we've kind of made our way down and around and completely underneath it. Now we're still on the south side. This is the River Chionthar here. We're still on the south side of it. These are the bridge supports. We're going to make our way over here to the west a little bit.
Another quake. What's going on?
It's the Elder Brain. There's something happening to it.
Worth grabbing.
Okay, and now you can see that we have another way up over here. Okay, failed the survival check.
Have to keep pushing. Still alive, so that's progress. Damn, it's good to be alive. Need to keep going.
Okay. It must be Astarion blocking.
Step lightly.
Can't afford
Yes.
to stay idle.
Yes. More pathing. Okay, and we're just failing all the survival checks here. I mean, it is a DC 20, but still, I would have expected that somebody would have passed it. Nobody passed it.
All right. What now?
Okay, now I have to remember where this is, because honestly, I don't remember. Okay, I did find it. Nope, it's right there. So, Scroll of Wall of Stone is nice.
There is work to do.
And then we can do a little more searching here.
This way.
Okay, and now let's go kind of reconnect, so to speak, with where the map is. Okay, so now we've gotten back to an explored area. And now you can kind of see where we are. We're right up here by the Open Hand Temple, right across from the South Span Crossing Gate here. Hey, Ostomer, welcome. No, you didn't. There's some fairly important stuff in the admin notes that you'll probably want to take a look at. There's some really exciting stuff if you haven't heard anything about what Larian's going to be doing. There's some really important stuff coming up in the future. But other than that, no, we've just kind of started exploring down here by the shore. And here you got another chest. Another Scroll of Wall of Stone. Up here, this is the Open Hand Temple. We're going to be dealing with all of this later. I just wanted to kind of connect us to the already explored portions of the map before we head back down here, because we're not going to go up there yet. So we'll make our way all the way back down, and we have another way down over here as well.
Just check for anything useful.
Okay, some more stuff we can search. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Yeah, there was... Whoop, and I forgot the Traveler's Chest back here. Yeah, that's an amazing thing by Larian. All of us content creators are honestly just stunned about the whole thing. It's incredible that they're doing that. Okay, so we're going to make our way down here, and now you can see where we are. Okay, and where this connects back to what we had already explored. Because we went up here, and now we've kind of come full circle back here to this point. Okay, so what I'm going to do is break my group. Cast guidance on Shadowheart. You don't need to do this. Oh, it's not this one. It's up there. This one you need to do. Okay. And we found out that that Traveler's Chest is trapped. But don't forget that there is a chest kind of hidden back here. underneath the broken boat here. Okay, so let's pick up our items here. We'll bring Astarion up, and we will deal with that trap.
Step quick.
I can't remember how sporty this DC is, so I'll try it and see what it looks like. It's not too bad. I'll take a chance here that I can roll a 3.
Simple.
And in here you're going to find another. This is the second one of these that we found. Necklace of Elemental Augmentation. When one of your cantrips deals one of the 5 types of elemental damage, you're going to add your spellcasting modifier to the damage dealt. Situational at best. They're normally better. It's free damage if you're using a fire cantrip or something like that, which is nice. It does not add force damage though. So it's not going to give you a boost to your Eldritch Blast. Otherwise, everyone would be using this on their Warlock builds. But it is free damage, but most of the time you have better necklaces by this point in the game. And you're not going to be wanting to use that.
Don't mind if I do.
I wonder what the next move is.
Okay, so we'll head across the broken bridge here. And we're going to get into this area here. Now, there's a steam cloud here. The steam cloud does not cause you any damage. What it really does is just kind of obscure things that are here. And what you can see is there's a charred body here. And it looks like it's been covered by acid. But you can also see that there's a tripwire here. So it should give you some clues that there are traps up here.
Looks like a trap there.
Okay, so we'll bring Astarion up. And I'm going to change out for these. The smuggler's ring and the silver pendant. Because some of these are not easy. Okay. So, yeah, you can see that the DCs on some of these are not easy DCs to meet, so... And some of the vents, you don't have to disarm the vents, but...
My faith protects me.
They are really high. I think that's a DC 30.
Trap.
Careful, I might. A trap. Someone doesn't like visitors.
Okay, so we'll get Astarion to move up and disarm this tripwire.
Traps. How considerate.
That'll be a good size number. 34.
Be careful. There are traps about.
Our first nat 1, thank goodness for advantage. And our first nat 20 to balance it out. Nice. And the eagle-eyed and eared amongst you have heard this. We're going to go deal with this as soon as we clear out these traps. Okay, we can try and disarm this vent, but like I say, I'm not going to waste, actually, if we're going to do that. We need to buff Astarion up one more time, because I'm almost positive this is a DC 30. And again, you don't have to disarm this. Yeah, DC 30. So I'm going to have to roll pretty well here. It's not enough. Oh, it was. Oof. And that's going to make the steam cloud go away. That's the only thing it does. So that's why you don't have to do it. Just makes things a little easier to see.
What have we here?
Let's go over here and pick up a few things. Including the rotten food. Okay, there's a pile of viscera here. And there's a severed arm. And one fresh corpse. Some good armor that we'll be able to sell. Okay, and now for this, we're going to go over here and have a conversation.
Gods are watching me.
Come to finish the job. Picked the wrong fight. I gave the bastard something to cry about, though. By the gods, it hurts. Help me, please.
I'm going to choose an unusual option here.
Stop, please! Just end this! Get this blade out of me. Use it. Kill me. Kill me now. What are you doing? Stop! No! Stop it. That tickles.
I see how you slither closer, belly dragging in the filth. Father is laughing at you. Even with your head neat tumbled, you tickle and torture so brutishly. A blunt and tasteless slaughter. Oh, do not worry, slaughterkin. My blades are still sharp and sweet. They will greet you soon enough. She's toying with me. What is does she want?
Okay, and because I knew that was Orin, that's why I had a little fun there and indulged my dark urge side. Now remember, that is 2 times that we have encountered Orin. And we encountered her with the Flaming Fist in the refugee camp, and we encountered her here with the Dying Stone Lord. Those are the only times that you're going to encounter her. So out of the 5 possible NPCs that you can encounter, those 2 are the least impactful for the game. The 2 of the other 3, you can just get various conversations with them if they have not been slaughtered and taken over or mimicked by Orin. So that's why I did, and then the 5th, you can actually miss out on something. So that's why I did these 2, and that is going to free us up to go talk to the other 3 people without fear that Orin has kidnapped and killed them. He was going to die anyway, and the Flaming Fist up there, well, like I say, sorry that he had to be the other one, but it is what it is.
I'm ready.
Okay, so now with Shadowheart, we need to kind of replicate the same thing, because you can see, again, a steam cloud with a broken trap here.
Onward. Looks like a trap there.
Okay, and there's the first perception check.
Keep a blade close. This way.
Maybe a big roll here. Got a 2, got a 4. Am I gonna get 40? Oh, still close. If I'd have gotten anything more than a 2 on Mark of the Shifter, I might have gotten a 40 out of that.
Traps.
Okay, and he found this tripwire himself. I definitely will, Rudy. Thank you. Yes. When I'm going through all of these disarms here, I still need to have his gear on, but I'll be getting ready for that here in just a little bit. Okay, and there's the vent.
Traps about.
Again, a DC 30. Oh, nice. Okay, so we just have Shadowheart go do some searching here.
Might find something useful.
You can go up here on top as well. Take the ladder back down.
Might as well.
Alright, and that should be about it. Yes. Okay, so now as Rudy had mentioned before we go in there, we want to change back to Astarion and swap his gear back because we're about to get into a fight here. And this fight, there's one consequence to it. And I was just checking my experience level there. You're going to be asked to take sides here. You can side with either of the two groups, or you can side with neither of them and get into a fight with everybody. If you side with one of the groups, then it will keep you from having to make a persuasion check later on in Act 3. And some of the NPCs in that location will not be there, which means that a certain fight you're going to have will be a little bit harder because those NPCs are not there to help in that fight. But it's a relatively minor thing to side with one group or the other here. So I'm going to take the XP out of this. I'm not going to side with either of them. I'm going to get into a fight with both of them. And as soon as you get close in here, a conversation is going to start down here. And you want to rush up to that conversation. Otherwise, you're not going to have an opportunity to take a side at all. A fight's going to start, and when you show up, everyone's going to be hostile towards you. So if you want to get an option to take a side in the fight, make sure that you run in here and don't stop. Otherwise, the conversation between the two NPCs will conclude and the fight will start on its own. But we're going to rush in here and have the conversation. We're going to get a save.
That same ship was at Moonrise Towers, if I'm not mistaken.
Here's the two groups of NPCs talking.
We're about to fight.
Nobody messes with the Stone Lord rattling.
Nine Fingers sent her love, arsehole. Your Stone Lord's a dead man walking. You, help me kill these arses. The girls will sprinkle you with gold.
Okay, so here we have the option of which side you want to take. You can side with the guild, you can side with the Stone Lord, or you can not get involved at all, or you can just take everything. And that's what I'm going to do.
You'll regret this.
Okay, so I rolled first on initiative. That wasn't unexpected here. And you can see the detection cones are pretty large. They extend around quite a bit of area here. But I definitely want to get in here. I want to get mixed up with the enemies here. So I'm going to step right into the middle here. And now I'm going to bring Shadowheart in.
Whatever happened to his head happened recently.
And you'll see what that is. We can look at that on the way out. It's just a severed head. Okay, so once I get up here, I'm going to break my group. I'm going to bring Shadowheart around. Now, there's normally a very thin area here where you can get through here without triggering the detection cone. If for some reason that detection cone is all the way up here, you can jump over these rocks to get back here as well. Nope, that's going to trigger the detection cone. Let me see if I can jump up here. Okay. Now, the question is, can I see enough to trigger this? I can. Okay, so I'm going to trigger darkness on these four here. Okay. So they're all now blinded. Shadowheart is going to get an opportunity to go here now. And now the problem becomes these. We've got a caster down here. We've got a couple of ranged enemies down here. And I kind of want to make it hopefully a little bit harder for them to get to me. And I'm going to do that by throwing out an ice storm down here. Okay.
Hello, you.
So now Karlak
I'm too tall for this.
is going to take advantage of the high ground up here. And want to make sure that's going to be getting the Dwarven bonus here. Now the detection cones are cut down quite a bit, so I can freely walk up here and climb this ladder. Okay. And from here, again, starting off, the Dwarven Thrower is just like the returning pike, in that if she doesn't roll high in initiative, it won't come back to her if there's an enemy in between her turn and when she throws it. So I don't want to start off with the Dwarven Thrower, same as I was with the returning pike. But I am going to start off with a throw here, and I'm going to throw the Lightning Jabber. Okay, and I'm going to try and go after the Spellcaster here. Okay, so now that we've rolled high in initiative, and I wouldn't expect that she would roll low. She's got alert and another +3 bonus from her gear, so she's going to be going, you know, high almost all the time. But I don't want to take chances with the Dwarven Thrower, so I'm going to throw the Dwarven Thrower now.
Good idea, Karlak.
He had 27 hit points, and he's now dead. He was hit for 20 bludgeoning damage. So, you can see he rolled a 3 on 1d8. It's a +2 weapon, a +4 from the strength modifier. The 1d4 throwing boost came from the Dwarven Thrower. The next 1d4 bludgeoning throwing boost came from the ring. And then the 1d4 strength modifier from Tavern Brawler getting added in again. Then she hit for radiant damage because of the Callous Glow Ring. And then 5 bludgeoning damage. Oh, this is from Dwarven Thrower. So the 2 throwing boosts here were from my ring and from my gloves. Then the Dwarven Thrower hit for 5. And if he wasn't dead by that point, I've got a height advantage. So another 9 bludgeoning damage. So I'm dealing, you know, 25-ish here on some of these. And that just means that, especially when she frenzies, she's going to gain 15 temporary hit points from the gear she's wearing. And now she can throw 3 times per turn. And now Astarion can come in here. And Astarion is carrying the Resonance Stone. So now all of these enemies here are steeped in bliss. I'm doing psychic damage. and he's dead. He had 63 hit points, and I one-shot him. Okay? Monk OP. That's just what it is. Monk OP. So, 2 flurries of blows there. Look at all the wisdom modifier, strength modifier, tavern brawler, shadow thief bonuses. Everything getting thrown in here. Plus thunder damage from his gloves. Plus the psychic damage, his wisdom modifier. And then doubling it because they are vulnerable. And then throwing all of that in again. Yeah, Monk OP. Alright? That's what you need to learn out of all this. And now that they're all steeped in bliss, I can go with a flourish melee on these 2. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to Hex. Yeah, we'll Hex Farland. I should be able to hit these 2. Yes, I can. Okay. Hey, Philip, welcome. Who to side with? We are not siding with anybody. And I explained the consequences of that a little bit ago. We are not siding with anybody. We are taking the experience here. Okay, so for Shadowheart, nothing in particular that we're going to finish up with her.
Ready for another round?
Karlach's done. Harlan's going to get an opportunity attack. She picked up the lightning jabber and threw it back. Good luck with that. Okay, now Astarion again. And Astarion can mop up the rest of this and see what's happening here. If I wasn't going with the experience, you'd side with Farland. Side with the guild. What that does is it gives you free entrance into the guild headquarters later. You don't have to pass the persuasion check at the door. And Farland and Latham and Bad Bludgeon and Valicia, they are all inside the hideout later on. So when you get the fight that happens there between the Zentarum and the guild, you'll have 4 extra people on their side to make that fight a little bit easier. Yeah, that is something. It's only a conversation piece that is happening, but that's Farland. Farland is a Harper spy. It's only a single other line of dialogue that you get if Jaheira's in the party. So again, not a big thing for me to worry about. So, as far as this goes, I'm not going to waste any of his damage dealing with Valicia. I'm going to go after Latham here. I should be able to do this without using any more key points, I don't think. Yep, easy. And then give Dahlia. Let's stun her.
Let's go.
Okay. Okay. Okay, now a couple things happened there, and all of it fully expected. The Fungalsby here cast Animal Companion. That brought a wolf in. Shadowheart is afraid of wolves, so she's now frightened. Okay, so that shouldn't affect much. I don't utilize her for melee attacks or anything like that for the most part anyway. What it will do is prevent her from moving. So if you do want to readjust darkness, it has to be somewhere she can see because she's stuck in place now. So I'm going to move the darkness up here.
Behold the dance of death.
I shouldn't have uncovered Astarion there. But, oh well, too late now. We're going to reapply Hex since my concentration got broken on that. Okay, Shadowheart is fine here. Astarion actually wants to be less than his full hit points.
Time to kill.
Because then he's going to be dealing under Bloodthirst an additional 2 necrotic damage. So I'm not going to heal him.
Alright, Karlak, it's go time.
So Karlak is going to get rid of Fungalsby here. We'll enrage throw first.
Handy.
Look at all of the damage. It's a stupid amount of damage from one throw. And now Fungalsby's dead. So, 2 hits got rid of 78 hit... Well, not 78. He had been damaged previously. I think he had 69 hit points or something like that in 2 hits. So, the Dwarven Thrower with a throwing spect Raging Barbarian is just stupid. It's, again... It's not broken levels of Monk stuff, but it's pretty good. Now, since you can't throw into darkness, so these two, I'm not going to be able to attack. The darkness is protecting them, quote unquote, but that's fine.
Got to keep fighting.
No, I forgot that forgot he was still over here. I completely forgot he was that old Flake Eyes was laying on the ground. Okay. Not a big deal though. So let's start with Karlak. He's got 60 hit points. Actually, what I'd prefer to do... No, we'll have Astarion deal with... So, 60 hit points.
This'll help.
And he's got 25, so that took off 35 hit points. Oh, that was a crit. That's not 95. I know. I know it looked like it. It was 35. Just by itself for the roll. So now we still have 1 throwing attack left here. So let's get Shadowheart to move the darkness slightly. We're gonna uncover Kairos.
Time to push
Now,
my
I
luck
think
again.
this might trigger an attack of opportunity. It will. But again, with the 26 armor class, not too worried about it. He's steeped in bliss? Yes. Oh, I'm not concentrating. My hex keeps getting broken. Now I'll be getting the render of mind and body triggered. Okay.
Let's finish this.
So now Karlak can get her last attack in. Yes, right there. Oh, left him with 7. He's probably going to come up and go after Shadowheart. So this might hurt. I'll take the opportunity attack. Oh. Take that one. She's just chucking everything she can at him. Trying to go, please don't kill me. It's not gonna work though.
To the death.
Alright.
Everyone's frightened of something. My fear's hardly irrational when you see the fangs on those things.
Alright, so let's go
What am I to do?
and drop the concentration on that. We can go talk to Shadowheart. That was the first time she had been paralyzed by wolves. So as soon as it happens, you have a conversation with her about it.
Time to... I suppose you've noticed I'm not terribly fond of wolves. I've always been terrified of them, ever since I was a child. I showed you my memory of when I was lost in the woods. It can hardly come as a surprise. The Mother Superior wasn't above using it against me. If I disobeyed, sometimes instead of a whipping, she'd threaten to drag me to a wolf den. Never failed to bring me back in line. Why is it always the bad memories I can still recall? In any case, I'll be keen to avoid them. You're unlike the Mother Superior, then. Maybe that's what I like about you. You're different. I need to reach its very center and confront the Mother Superior. Lady Shah decrees she is no longer fit to lead. There will be plenty of others there too. If we can get them to see sense, I would rather we spare their lives. I don't want to lead a congregation of corpses like Balthazar and Ketheric.
Okay, and now we do have
Keep your distance, darling.
an opportunity to speak with Farlan here.
How many die today? How many die tomorrow?
So the conversations you would be able to have with Harlan, not all of them are lost. Here.
Lifelessly.
Seize in their hall for 9 fingers. Don't know. Something valuable. The Stone Lord's men. Interlopers. Fallen from the guild. Fury. Threat to everyone.
The spell's power wanes. You can ask no more questions.
And the other reason that I did this is for the items that I can pick up here. So there's, and you can read the note here about what's kind of happening down here on the docks. The Stone Lord was bringing in cultist ships from somewhere, and we're going to go learn a little bit more about that. But the armor and that sort of stuff that's in here is very valuable to be able to sell. And that's something that I definitely wanted to pick up. So here on Karos's body, on the Stone Lord side, you want to, again, they want to secure this area down here to keep their shipment secure. He also has the Corpse Grinder. Now, the Corpse Grinder does thunder damage by default. It's one of the few weapons that deals thunder damage all by itself. So anything that triggers off of thunder damage, the Corpse Grinder is actually really good to use. It's a maul, so it's two-handed, which means it goes in with Great Weapon Master and that sort of stuff, if that's what your build is looking for. And it has a weapon action, if you're proficient with it. So in that, you slam your weapon to the ground and you impact nearby foes and possibly pushing them away. So in a 3-meter radius around you, you can push all of your targets away, kind of like an AoE, or kind of like Thunder Wave, the spell, and that sort of stuff, just centered around you. So I don't tend to use Corpse Grinder, but I do keep it on hand because there is a specific synergy that goes along with it.
What's this? Over here.
Okay, and here's Archer, and Archer Valicia, I take that back earlier, Philip, is the Harper spy.
They should all be running.
I shouldn't have second guessed myself. I thought it was, but I said it was Farland. So you'll be able to learn the things you would normally learn from Archer Valicia from her here.
The corpse regards you lifelessly.
Observing. Spying. Disguised. Territory. Control. Smuggling valuables. Stone Lord's thugs. Threat to us all. Harper infiltrated the guild.
Now, Archer Valicia, normally when this fight finishes, they will all be down here roaming around the ships. And sometimes you won't be able to talk to Archer Valicia. You'll just walk up to her, you'll click on her, and she'll say some pre-programmed phrase. Killing her is the only way to guaranteed find out about all of that sort of stuff.
Someone there?
Because like I say, sometimes the game just
What's the story?
won't
Let's go.
give you those conversation options with her. So we'll pick up the lightning jabber, and you can see there's something else laying down here on the ground. That's the Gleam Dance Dagger. So the Gleam Dance Dagger, you picked up from Shiv Dahlia. So this object glows with a light around it. So if you're dealing with those, you deal extra damage when you are illuminated by a light source thing. This is a weapon that can do that. When the dagger's wielded in the offhand, the wielder gains a +1 bonus to armor class. So it allows you, very few weapons grant you a bonus to your armor class, and this is one that does it. So if you're certainly looking to max out that armor class to get it up into the 30s range, this is an item to help you do that. I'm not. It's not something that I'm going to focus on. But here, again, armors, very valuable armors that you can pick up. And Okay, so now we'll change to Shadowheart to do the searching down here.
I'd better take a peek.
Oh, jeez.
Onward then.
Oh, I forgot she had already picked up all of that stuff.
I'd love to, thanks.
Okay, is Karlach fairly empty? Yes.
Yeah. And
Okay, and here sitting on the barrel is a Mind Flayer Parasite specimen. So from 10,
for me.
we're now up to 11. Okay, so there's a dagger that was thrown at us. There's some dagger root up here. There's a passageway here that we'll go look at here in a second.
Yo!
Okay, some clothes and some camp supplies. Now we're going to get out here to the ship. Okay, the ship is glowing a little bit, and we recognize that from Act 2 in the Shadowlands. So the cultists brought this ship in. We'll go up here and let's search the chest. Scroll the whole person, always nice to have. And a decent amount of gold.
No joy.
Okay, and then here in the storage, 2 more Mind Flayer Parasites. And a manifest that you can read that basically this is being sent in. We don't need you, or the Stone Lords are here to just protect the shipment, but they're not to be taking anything out of this. So they were shipping in more Mind Flayer Parasites to utilize on people. Right now we're at 11. That goes up to 13. And I think that's it. I seem to remember... Let me just go look at one more thing here real quick. Okay, nothing. Okay. Seem to remember there being a perception check. Oh, there's the grenade. Forgot about that. There's a scrap and shrapnel grenade laying on the ground. This is not a smoke powder bomb. It only does 1 damage. However, it's guaranteed to make everybody in the vicinity around it where it hits bleed. That's important for anybody who has the Benediction of Bual, where we have advantage on attack rolls against those bleeding creatures. So this is another way to inflict AoE advantage on enemies. So we're definitely going to keep that. Because I believe that's the only one you can find. Okay, so now we'll head back up here. And again, it's been a long time. I'm pretty sure I know what's inside this passageway. We should be down at the bottom of a ladder. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I know where we're up at the top, the ladder, the other entrance is down there. So we don't need to be hidden here. Let's go ahead and search all of this. And this is all of the stuff that the Stone Lords were bringing in. Okay. So just like the Zentarum hideout, this is all of their loot, so to speak.
Gimme.
And we're just going to take a few minutes and search all of this here. There's another section down there, which we'll go look at here in a second. Poutine. For those of you who aren't Canadian, you might not know what that is. It's really, really good. Okay, and in here, don't forget to take the paintings. And again, we're doing all of this because money is so very important in this game. Okay, so here's a warning to a guy that was strung up. Van was stealing. And this is Van. And that's why there was a note back here saying, "Don't worry, I'm not Van." They strung him up to make an example out of him.
A trap. Time to dance.
Okay, so we'll bring Astarion up here
Moving.
to disarm this. Oof, 2 19s. And then here you get the Bone Spike boots. Now this is the companion to the Bone Spike garb that you picked up. So we're going to send this to Karlach and we'll take a look at it.
Come on, let's go.
Okay. So she's wearing the Bone Spike garb right now. So here you have a +1 bonus to armor class and saving throws, as long as you are not wearing armor or holding a shield. Right now she's got +1 armor class and +1 acrobatics with the evasive shoes. So this is going to gain me, I'm going to lose the acrobatics, but I'm going to gain saving throw bonuses, which is nice. And I also gain the refined vaulting. Jump distance is increased by 1.5 meters. The other thing about this is Brutal Leap. Now, we've seen Brutal Leap before when we had, way back in the Underdark, when we had the Ballet in our party. It's a way to jump toward a target, and when you land, possibly knock it prone. It's a bonus action, just like jump is, and it's a strength save to do it. Now the thing about this is that it resets per turn. So you can do this every turn if you would like. Okay, now Karlach normally uses her bonus action when she's when she's raging for her throwing attack, but this is a way to possibly knock a target prone to give everybody else advantage on the attacks against them. So overall, definitely want to swap those out. I'm going to keep the evasive shoes. I just don't have a need for them right now. I don't think Astarion, is gaining bonus damage from his boots, so he doesn't want those. And Shadowheart's got the shadow teleportation, which is really useful. So not a use for them, but they're not armor, so any of your spellcasters could use them as well.
watching.
And then the treasure crates. Very underwhelming amount of treasure here for a big pile of crates like that. But still, we'll take it.
Is that blood? No, never mind.
Okay, and now down here we have a cragged rock. And another one. And that will get us down into this area.
What's cooking? Let's ride.
And there'll be more stuff to search down here. And most of this is going to be camp supplies. Okay, so here we've got a severed hand. Severed hands are useful in this game if you don't play out the storyline and you need a hand to get into deal with Saravok. There are severed hands laying all over the place. Okay, and here this is going to lead you to or put a point on your map that tells you another way into Worm's Rock Fortress. Okay, you don't need to do this, but it will certainly give you a hint about another way to get in there. Okay, and the last set of items are over here. Okay, just stand up there so you can't see everything. Oh, jeez, this is going to be a pain. He's going to step up there every time. Okay, Eagle Feathers. That's going to unlock a sublimate. And the Smuggler's Rules. It's not a big deal. There's nothing spectacular about them. It doesn't trigger anything. Okay. So we get this bottom area down here with some more...
Everything is clear.
With some more loot in it.
On my way.
Okay, so now we'll head back outside real quick. I believe I've searched all of this. Okay.
Here goes nothing.
Okay, and we haven't unlocked any of, or haven't opened up any of Worm's Rock Fortress yet. Okay. So, now you can see we have fully finished out all of the shoreline here. So, the other thing that I said that I guaranteed we wanted to do today is the Circus of the Last Days. So, we're going to teleport back to Rivington. And this is the other reason that I brought the Resonance Stone with us, because Astarion is about to go on a journey all by himself. Before I go in here, though, I want to head to camp. And I want to bring Minthara back in the party. Because there's something we're going to do in here. And I need to, since I didn't do my testing on this, I'm going to have to pull up the guide for this. We are in a relationship with Minthara now, and we want to have her with us.
Your party is full.
We're going to
Did you
temporarily
think
swap
then
out
let us hold
Karlach.
forth and conquer, or something to that effect.
For this, and give me just a second. Okay, here it is. It's Zethino. I apologize. Like I say, I didn't get a chance to test this because of this week. I need to bring up the... because I'm hoping that Minthara's approval... Okay, it's very good. This should work. There are approval limits that you have to hit to go through this. But again, I want to make sure I've got the guide pulled up. When you go in here, like I say, your love interest will have an opportunity to have an interaction.
Seems like a good moment to talk.
Stinks of cheese between his piggy toes.
How dare you? What in the hells is all of this?
A necessity, good sir. The Steel Watch loves pretending sweet Rivington doesn't exist. So we have decided to protect you, dear patrons. No need to thank us. You'll be allowed in once I've done this batch. Next! Hello, hello, and welcome to the Circus of the Last Days, the finest extra-planar circus there is. We travel from plane to plane, thrilling all blessed to see us. From tempestuous Ginny to belligerent redcaps, you'll find them all here. Oh, this is Benjamin. Say hi, Benji. Benji here checks all our patrons to make sure none of you are vicious murderers. Can't be too careful. But enough of this. The circus is a place of joy and distraction, so come inside and forget your worries. Not a problem, dear patron. Benji just has to check if you're a vicious murderer. Benji?
Blood! Tasty blood! So delicious!
Oh, that's a first. Usually I'd allow you in, but in these times, I can take no chances. Move along. No circus for you.
Okay, and here we have some various options to be able to convince this to get into the circus. That interaction from Benji is unique to the Dark Urge, and some of the Dark Urge repercussions are going to come into play here. For instance, the deception here. I used to be a killer, but I've reformed my ways. You have disadvantage on this because we have completed Became the Slayer. We got that from Scelaritas. So some of these are going to have bonuses and that sort of stuff. Persuasion for us is obviously the best. You can always just buy your way in, but in honor mode, we're not going to be that cavalier with our gold. So we're going to roll for persuasion here. It's a 15. We can only fail it with a nat 1.
Oh, damned if I'm not a sucker for big eyes and a heartfelt plea. Very well. Welcome to the Circus of the Last Days. Have fun and be sure to catch the star of our show, Tribbles the Clown.
Okay, so now inside the Circus of the Last Days. there is a particular way that you want to do this, or a particular order that you want to do this, I should say. To maximize your available interactions here. Okay. Now there are various NPCs that you can talk to in here. Most of them are just going to give you a dialogue, and that's it. Because I'm a bard, I can get some fairly interesting and funny interactions with some of this dialogue. So we'll start down here with Medrash.
The ringmaster hired another bard. Ho, ho, ho. Viola is gonna be pissed.
Okay, and now we're going to go right next door and we're going to go talk to Zethino here. And this is why you want to have your love interest, or this is where you want to have your love interest in the party with you.
This city of stone and steel is an endless scream in nature's womb. I have felt no peace here. Your eyes, Stira. There is pain, endless and deep, but also devotion, blazing like the sun. You're in love, are you not?
And you can see that Minthara got automatically drawn into conversation here. No, the other two party members did not. And that's because she is our love interest here.
You are wise to admit it. When it comes to love, vulnerability is armor. Truth, a sword, and trust, a shield. I pray you wield all three, Stira. Bring the one you love. I will look into your hearts and see if your love is eternal or doomed eternally.
Okay, and now I'm afraid that my approval isn't high enough.
You return, Stira. Shall I look into your heart, you and your beloved both, and see if your love will stand the test of time?
Okay, so yeah, you can. So Minthara is here now, available for us to take into this.
I know my heart, and yours, better than this creature ever will. But we can indulge it if you wish.
Close your eyes, little ones. Be still as stone to earth. And remember to breathe. Glorious. Your bond is sweeter than nature's dew. I see you, know you, but do you know one another? Minthara. A mask of ice hides a heart of pure fire. You do well to call her close. Listen. Think. What does the drow miss most about the Underdark?
Okay, and here, every companion is going to... There are 3 questions here. Every companion is going to have different answers. Some of them are correct, and some of them gain you more approval than others. Some of them are incorrect, and you lose approval. So the correct answers here are either picking off her siblings one by one or spiced all over wine and thinly sliced where they meet. Now, the top one is going to gain you more approval.
Not just siblings. Androcide, senicide, avuncularcide. I only regret I left before enjoying a matricide. That would be a memory to cherish.
Your bond beats in pleasure. It is an honor to behold. Many pass through our lives, their touch rippling across time. But who does Minthara admire the most?
Now, here there are 2 correct answers, but 3 of them will give you approval. Okay, the first one will not give you approval. She doesn't care for Drizzt. She's already mentioned that in conversation with her. Nobody is a correct answer. It will get you a small amount of approval. Me is a correct answer and will get me the most approval. And then the gods is not a correct answer, but will also get you a lot of approval. So I'm going to go with me.
Presumptuous, but not inaccurate. You have earned my companionship. That is no easy task.
Our touch has been that of sunlight. But now we must ask the deep, the difficult. Those with an icy facade hide their true selves well. But pain breaks us all in the end. What is the worst thing your love has ever done?
Okay, now here there's only one correct answer and only one thing that will give you approval. And she's mentioned this in her conversations before. The worst thing that's she's ever done is let herself be captured.
I do not know what weakness of mine allowed them to take me. That haunts me more than anything they did to me. Are we finished? You were only mildly disappointing. Well done.
Your bond is seedling. One that needs a gentle hand in its tending. Nurture it, and it will become a great oak in time. Your love is one few have. Cherish it. Go in peace, seedlings, and know that you made one whose heart was long quiet, beat with love anew.
Okay, now you should get a couple of inspirations, I believe, out of this, depending upon who's with you. But, okay, so we only got the 1 out of it. We did get 2 out of Medrash. So if you are short on inspirations, the Circus is definitely a place to come. Now, you notice that you have people like Fred roaming around.
Scummy ballbag, move! My guts to clean!
Yeah, you're going to get more interactions along those lines. And now here we have Zara the Mummy. Okay, so we have an insight check here we can try and make. Doesn't really matter if we pass this or not.
You realize she is miming putting on face paints. She has them to sell. Okay, now Zara's going to be selling 2
things here that are a little different. The first is the disguise kit. If you do not have the deluxe edition and you don't have the Mask of the Shapeshifter, the disguise kit is a way to get the shapeshift ability. It will work with the Shapeshifter's boon ring if you want to use it. The second thing that she sells is a face painting kit. Now, this lasts until long rest, and when you put it on, you put on clown makeup, is what you do. Now, that actually has a purpose, and a purpose that we're going to learn a little bit more about later on. But for now, there is a reason that these are here. You're going to be able to purchase them until the circus leaves, so just keep that in mind. They're expensive, so if you are going to go this way, you certainly want to up her attitude, because if you buy more than 8 of them, then you're going to be saving money by upping her attitude. She also is one of the first places you're going to encounter that's going to sell a lot of the higher end dyes. So we have cobalt dye here, we have the white and scarlet dye and that sort of stuff that Zara's going to be able to sell. Some fairly low level scrolls for things, but it's really the face painting kit, disguise kits, and the dyes that what Zara is for. We're not going to buy anything for now. Okay, and now we're going to get down here to Akabi. And for Akabi, we need to do a couple of things. So, the first of which being that we're going to put on the smuggler's ring on Astarion. He's already got Mark of the Shifter. Yes, he does. So, we're going to move up here. We're going to have Shadowheart cast Guidance on him. Now you notice that there's a big empty space with no detection cones behind Akabi, whereas the rest of the circus is pretty much covered in detection cones. That's for a reason. Okay, and we are going to...
No time to dally.
Who's she concentrating on with guidance? Nobody else has it on. Okay, it must have just run out from the previous interaction that we had. Okay, so now Astarion is going to come up here behind Akabi. He's going to go into hiding, and he's going to pickpocket. And he wants the Gene ring. Okay, and now before you go in here, I'm going to put back on the Eversight ring. Okay, the thunder damage is fine. All the rest is fine, and he's carrying the Resonance Stone. Okay, he's going to be taken somewhere all by himself once he talks to Akabi. And as such, I want to make sure that the Steeped in Bliss stone goes with him so that he can be doing extra psychic damage while he's there.
Approach, ugly one. Ugly, hideous, vile. You are fortunate to have found me, freakish one. Behold! Akabi's Wheel of Wonders. Spin! To win prizes beyond your tiny imagination and make your miserable life more bearable.
Okay, now if you come in here and you don't, and you have not pickpocketed the ring, there are a bunch of possible consolation prizes here that you can win. Every spin is going to cost you 500 gold. Okay. And And most of the items here are not going to be worth that 500 gold. There are a couple of things here, though, that can be somewhat useful. Okay? So, and the reason I say kind of is because every one of the consolation prizes has a downside to it. For instance, the boots of very fast blinking. They allow you to cast Misty Step every turn. Okay, it's not a once per short rest or a once per long rest thing. You can cast Misty Step every turn, which is incredible. However, when you cast Misty Step, it will strip you naked, and all of your clothing will be left at the spot where you teleported from. Okay? So your weapons and the boots will stay with you, but all of your armor and rings and that sort of stuff will be left on the ground back where you left, which obviously makes it less useful. There is the Unlucky Thief's Gloves. You get a +2 bonus to sleight of hand checks. It adds a piece of charcoal to your inventory every time you steal an item. Okay? Which the description, I believe, on it is meant to say that here you're getting a chunk of charcoal as punishment for stealing, but you can actually sell that charcoal. So it is a way to get unlimited money by basically equipping them, stealing a bunch of things, one thing at a time, and getting a whole bunch of charcoal. However, there's also a chance that instead of getting charcoal, that you're going to get a charcoal briquette in your inventory, and that's going to cause you burning damage and force the pickpocket to end. So there's a bunch of items that you can pick up, which are always interesting, but there's always a huge downside to them. So I tend not to spend any of my money on any of the items. Instead, I pick up the ring, and this is going to allow me to win the jackpot prize. If you don't pickpocket the ring, you will never win the jackpot.
Akabi has traveled across the plains, burning and conquering all. Win the spoils of such conquest. Or, if luck smiles upon you, win the grand prize, the jackpot.
Okay. Another thing that's important to remember is that the game was going to end if you've either spun the wheel 16 times and claimed all of the consolation prizes. There is a chance that he also turns you to cheese here. And once that's done, you have to go to another character to continue playing the game. But then the game can still end after you've gotten all the consolation prizes, or if you win the jackpot, then the game's going to end and you won't be able to spin the wheel anymore.
No more questions. Spin or don't.
Okay, so I'm going to spin the wheel.
Let us see if you have luck's favor. Impossible. You thief! You cheated! Liar! Enjoy the jackpot, muley curt!
Okay, and this is, I'm going to move Astarion out of the way here. You start this in hiding, and this is the first playthrough where I've actually come in here and remembered not to come out of hiding. Normally when I come in here, I forget that you come in hiding, and I immediately try and go into hiding, and it brings me out of hiding, and I get attacked by the first one here. You are teleported to a different area here, and inside this area, you have various different Chults. You have the Eliramus here. We're going to have another type that we're going to meet here in a little bit. And you're all by yourself. Your other party members cannot join you here. Okay? So your goal here is there are a couple of special items that you can pick up here. And there's also a good amount of XP here by being able to kill all of the Chult. Now, you don't have to kill all of the Chult. Okay? But we can, and Astarion excels at doing that. So we're going to make our way down here. This Chult here, once you get close enough, is going to start to move, and this one turned around. I don't know what it's doing. It's in the middle of its attack animation, which is strange. Okay, so the Aileromus is steeped in bliss. So, I'm going to be getting double psychic damage, so let's make sure I'm dealing psychic damage, and we're going to start this off. Now, with this, I don't think I actually have to use any of my flurries of blows. That was a boatload of damage. Okay, that was 57 points of damage. Right off the bat. It looks like I'm gonna have to... Well, he's surprised, so I don't have to. The other one joined combat. Okay, which I half expected. He was in the middle of a weird animation there. Like he was attacking something, so... I'm going to actually use a flurry of blows to kill him, go invisible, and that's gonna knock me out of combat. Look at all of that damage. It's stupid. And now he's throwing necrotic damage on top of it. because of the horns of the Berserker. I mean, it's a dumb amount of damage here that he does. And he's doing that twice. So, Monk OP. So I'm going to move out of the way up here.
This way.
And I'm going to go into turn-based mode quickly here while I'm still invisible. Okay, that gets me another surprise round. So I'm just going to end my turn. And that's because I didn't deal any damage on that turn. That's the other thing about the Horns of the Berserker. You get 1d4 necrotic damage if you don't deal damage on that turn. The start of that combat doesn't count as being part of that turn. The game coding's a little weird in that aspect. Yeah, that's right, Ostomer. It's kind of funny. Yeah, I mean, the Tavern Brawler Monk in tabletop is incredibly strong. No doubt. And monks in tabletop can do what I can only describe, what Matt Mercer of Critical Role famously described as monk things. There are so many things that monks can do to minimize the damage they take, to avoid attacks, to maximize the damage that their attacks deal, that DMs very often get into a bit of a quandary with monks. because of how easily they can trivialize certain encounters. And it tended to frustrate Matt Mercer in the Critical Role, because his wife, who's in the group, Marisha Ray, played as a monk. And it was a very fun interaction watching him try to not upset his wife while at the same time not letting her monk things overpower all of his carefully crafted encounters. And in this game, the monk is very much the same way. Monk OP is definitely a thing. Okay, so we're going to make our way over here, and here is the next Chult. And we're going to get up behind it here. Oh, we can't get up behind it there. I need to wait for it to come back. We have the detection cones from the two who are down below. Or there's only one down below right now. He's going down, okay. So, those two are now stuck down there. They're fighting over a dead civilian here. So I'm going to go deal with this one next. And I need to watch his pathing because it's been too long since I played these encounters, so I need to watch his detection cones and find out where he's going to walk to, because I can't remember. I might get detected here. Okay. So he walked right up to here. He should turn around and go back the other way now. Yep. Okay, he's going to go up here and sit, I believe. That should be close enough for me to get there. So this is a Colossa. So 109 hit points. So I'm actually going to go in with a flurry of blows here. I can knock him off of here and he'll take fall damage, but I don't want to bring those other two into the fight yet.
Won't know what bit him.
Okay, so they are brought into the fight anyway. So, not a big deal for me though, because I'll be able to kill him here and then go invisible. Let's actually not do that. Okay, now I'm invisible. Now I can dash.
Time to move.
Okay, and I'm not too worried about it. All I have to do is end my turns here. I'll use this turn to go into hiding. Because they're going to make their way up here. And actually, now that I think about it, they're coming right through where I am. So I need to actually make my way the other way here. Because, yeah, until they can get to the spot where my invisibility was, combat's not going to end. The only way they can do that is to get up here. I thought they could jump up here, but they can't. It doesn't look like. What I'm going to do... He's just a regular... Trying to plan this. I think I can actually get down there and kill him. Go invisible again. Because I can jump a long ways. Can I make it there? I can. I should be able to jump down there.
Don't linger.
With one of my bonus actions. Oh, I used all of my... No. Yeah, I used all of my movement. That was dumb. Because I'm not sure I can kill him with just my 2 attacks. I need one of my flurries of blows to do it. The only way to get more movement is, and I'm not going to waste a potion of speed, is to dash. Actually, I could dash with my action. I'll do that, then jump. Now I have a full bonus action here. And I missed. Okay. So, I would have been able to kill him there and go into invisibility, but I missed on one of them. So now I get to take the attacks. Okay. So, again, wasn't great. So, wasn't good planning here. But I will be able to kill... Oh, come on. Go invisible. Dash and get out of the way and reset all of this. Okay, so combat's going to reset. He's going to move back to his old spot there, and I can get myself healed back up here. I have the periaptive wound closure. So I don't need that much healing. Okay, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have left that last one off. So that I was still less than my full hit points. So I'd gain the necrotic damage. But something I'm not used to doing, so I have to get used to staying below full hit points with Astarion. Okay, so we'll move up here. And make our way through here. Not too worried about being encumbered. Menthara's with me. So I can get rid of a bunch of this stuff. And you can see there's another Chult up top above us. Okay, he's sleeping though. A couple of scrolls here. And you find out about the last person here who got sent to the jungle. Obviously didn't go well for them. Okay, and now you can see the other Chult down here. Okay, we have an opportunity to move out over here across the tops of this. We're going to go do that here in a little bit after we go upstairs and deal with the other one up here first. And you can move yourself back this way. And you'll be able to jump across here. And here, again, another person who talks about don't messing with the genies because they were sent here by a Kabi. And didn't work out well. But here in the backpack, you have the Band of the Mystic Scoundrel. Okay, this is actually a very powerful ring. After hitting a creature with a weapon attack, you can cast illusion or enchantment spells as a bonus action. So, especially for characters who are melee based but have those type of debilitating spells that they can cast that are in either the illusion or the enchantment school, okay, which is Tasha's Hideous Laughter is an enchantment spell. Dissonant Whispers is enchantment, okay. Your illusion spells and things like that that go along with this, being able to hit something and then cast an incredibly powerful debilitating spell afterward as a bonus action is incredibly useful, especially for a bard here. If you are using that attack to land arcane or mental fatigue, giving them a minus to their saving throws on that against that spell, it's a very, very easy way for a bard to debilitate a target by hold person or Tasha's Hideous Laughter or something like that. It's a very powerful ring. Do not overlook it.
Step careful. A little souvenir.
And there's nothing else out this way. It's all chasm. So now we'll head back. We'll jump back across. And we'll kill the sleeping one here. He seems to be a little glitched into the nest here. I can still hit him. Okay. So he's sleeping, and that means that all of my attacks are going to be crits. Alright, for while he's sleeping. So I can probably one-shot him here with a flurry of blows, but I'm not going to. Okay, that ends that.
Don't linger. Let's prowl. Quietly.
Okay, so now I'm going to head down to the bottom. Not that way. I'm going to head down to the bottom here and deal with this one. It's kind of stuck in place.
Certainly.
Okay, there he is. And your camera gets a little wonky in here because of the verticality. Okay, and I believe that's all of them.
Let's be quick.
Okay. So you can go, like I mentioned, and we'll go up there real quick, but you don't have to. I don't think there's anything up there. You can make your way around the tops up here. So if you want to play the verticality game and draw them up here, and then knock them off, you can. I guess there's a bone cap up here I'll take. You can make your way around all of the tops here. Oh, and I didn't search the Colossi. I don't think they have anything. They don't. Okay, so the last thing that we need to do is make our way out of here. I don't think there's anything around the back here. There's not. That's where we were. We've already searched that skeleton. Another bone cap here. And then you've got to jump here. You're going to take some hit point damage here, but that's perfectly fine for me. I can take 4 hit points there. Okay, he took 8. Oh, because of the height difference. Yep. Yep. Well, he should have taken 4 because of slow fall. I think slow fall might be miscoded. He took 8 bludgeoning damage. It was mitigated to 4 because of slow fall. So I should have taken 4 damage, but I took 8. Slow fall might be broken. I'll have to do some testing on that and see. And here you do have a locked chest. This is the other reason that it's advisable to bring Astarion or somebody who can lockpick in here. You don't have to lockpick this. You can beat this chest up. But it is a pretty high DC. And here is what Ostamura was talking about earlier. It is one of the best weapons for a throwing build in the game. I say one of because for all situations, I think the Dwarven Thrower is better. However, Nyrulna is a legendary weapon, and it returns to your hand when thrown, just like the Dwarven Thrower does. You cannot be forced to drop the trident. Now, this is different than the Dwarven Thrower, in that this has the bound weapon status effect, similar to Eldritch Knight or a Warlock, where you cannot be disarmed of it. Okay? Now, when thrown, the weapon creates an explosion that deals 3d4 thunder damage in a 6-meter blast centered on the target. That is, 3d4 is a massive damage bonus for Nyrulna. Okay? It's huge. You're not going to find any other damage writer that does that much damage by itself. So, in pure damage numbers, Nyrulna is going to beat the Dwarven Thrower against all targets. Even when you throw the Dwarven Thrower, or I take that back, against normal targets. Against large or gargantuan targets, the Dwarven Thrower deals 2d8, which is 2 to 16 bludgeoning damage, which slightly outpaces Nyrulna, but that's only against large and gargantuan targets, or large, huge, and gargantuan targets. So, for the most part, Nyrulna is going to out-damage it. However, this is the big caveat to Nyrulna and that damage boost. That damage hits everybody in that 6-meter blast radius, friend or foe. Okay? So, starting off combat with Nyrulna, where you don't have anybody else near the target, Nyrulna is definitely the way to go, and Karlach is definitely going to have this in her inventory to be able to throw, but that does not mean that it is suitable for every instance, simply because you have to be very, very careful of who's around your target when you throw this. Okay? Now, Veil of the Wind is nice. A plus 3-meter bonus to movement speed and jump distance. So, this weapon gives you immunity to falling damage. So, this is why I normally keep Nyrulna equipped on Karlach and have the Dwarven Thrower in her inventory, just because of the bonus that you get to movement speed and jump distance and the immunity to falling damage. It's a glowing weapon, which means that if you're using anything that causes extra damage when you are illuminated, this thing will work. And it is a plus 3 weapon, which is nice to have. Now, it does come with 2 proficiency unlocks, which are actually really powerful. Zephyr Flash is you rush forward up to 12 meters, and anybody, it works kind of like what Lightning Bolt does, in that in a path in front of you, you can knock multiple targets away and possibly inflict bleeding for 3 turns on them. It also doesn't provoke opportunity attacks, so if you need to move away from a target, you can use Zephyr Flash to do it. This is once per short rest, and it deals 6d8 thunder damage, which, again, is a massive amount of damage to deal with a weapon action. And then Zephyr Break. So this is your AoE pushing effect. Again, this hits not just you, but your friends as well. So you need to be careful of it. But for 12 meters, it will knock characters back. It will also clear all clouds, which means, and that includes darkness, but also things like Hunger of Hadar and Fog Cloud and that sort of stuff. It will also remove all of those things. So Nyrulna is a very, very good weapon. I do not diminish what it can do. However, you need to situationally be very aware of the damage you can cause to your own party while using Nyrulna. Okay, so now we're going to pop out of the portal, and it'll take us right back to the circus. Okay, we pop up in the outhouse, which is hilarious because that's where the portal is. Inside the outhouse. And we're kind of on the other side of the circus. So what we're going to do is bring everybody, group everybody else up here.
At least things have stayed interesting.
And if you can talk to Akabi again if you want. He's just going to be upset about the whole thing. And won't want to interact with you again. The game is over at this point. Okay, and now here we have Stoney and Boney. Now these two are going to give you an opportunity for a permanent buff in the game for your main character. And I don't know how much gold I have on me. Not hardly any. So we are going to head back to camp real quick. Okay, so it all must be on me. Oh, we have a backpack of garbage. We have a few backpacks of garbage to sell. Huh, good to know. I will sell all of that garbage off stream. I forgot about those. Good, because we're going to need some money, because we're going to be desperately short of it here in a little bit after this. So, I must have this gold on me somewhere. Oh, that's not gold, that's camp supplies. I don't have any gold. Yeah, I was looking at camp supplies. I'm like, wait a minute, where is it? So yeah, I'm gonna need to go sell off some garbage. Because Stoney and Boney, there is an opportunity here to get them to craft you a statue. Okay, now that statue costs 5,000 gold. Okay, so it is expensive, but when you craft it, it shows up in your camp, and you get the bonus of sweet stone features. Okay, and sweet stone features is basically, yeah, and Rudy, I do have some gold, but I only have. Oh, wait a minute, 4,000. I've got 4,100 party gold here. But there's 181 there. 347 there. Oh, it might be on Karlach. I still can't do it, but what I might be able to do is... Yeah, it might be on one of my other characters. So it's not on Gale. Okay, so it's not on Karlach. And gold, when you sort it, shows up right at the very top. Okay, well here's what we're... Yeah, because I've got... What am I missing? 347. 181. None. Astarion's not here. And 200. So... I wonder if this is including all the stuff that... all my other stuff that's in here. So, either way, here's what we're going to do. We're going to remove Minthara from the party. Bring Karlach back in, because Karlach has some stuff to sell.
Copper for your thoughts?
No room in your party. What? Now we're talking.
And her picture is messed up. So we're going to leave camp here. Let's see if I can get enough gold here to illustrate this. So let's head right across the street to the Rivington General. Because I'm pretty sure I have her leveled up.
Back again? Want a dagger? Oh, yay!
Okay, so we do have some stuff that we want from her too, but we're not going to buy anything yet. And I'm not going to take any of her other weapons that we talked about. I'm just going to sell off items here. And see how much gold we can get. 5,000's a lot. And I need to be careful not to sell off any crafting ingredients because Shadowheart doesn't appear to have an ingredient pouch. I'm going to keep the gemless ring because I'm not entirely sure if there's something with that. Okay. And remember, I do have trash bags sitting in camp. Okay, so we're getting close. Of that. 1,100. Yeah, and that's, like I had mentioned, Rudy, that was the first time I had seen that encounter. I'm going to go research it and find out what all goes in with it. Okay, and I believe that's everything. Yeah, so let's balance that offer. Okay, it sure says I've got 5,480 gold somewhere. Weird. Okay.
Want more? Want less? Want to sell? Want to buy? You know where I am. Bye!
So now let's go back to Rivington. And since we have a bunch of trash bags, we've got 2 vendors down here. So let's get down here close and we will go to camp and we'll bring our trash bags. Okay, and I'll pick that chest up as well. And if I'm really short on gold, I can always sell off camp supplies.
Refugees can't stay here in Rivington. They're a danger to all of us.
Welcome. You see to peruse the special goods, I take it.
Okay, so let's go and load him up here. He has a decent amount of gold as well. And let's not forget get Yankee weapons. Okay, so next here, don't forget to sell off the chest. And I know this isn't the most exciting gameplay you've ever seen, watching me do a click and drag tutorial. I did want to... I actually completely misread how much gold I had. And I do want to illustrate Stoney and Boney here. If I can. It's just, it is a lot of gold to collect. Alright, so we should be getting... Oh no, we still have plenty of gold on him yet. Get rid of these 2 gloves. And Astarion didn't pick up anything. I mean, there's no backpacks that I'm able to put gold in unless it's... Oh, it's... Thank you, Rudy. I have no idea why I moved gold into his backpack. That makes no sense to me. That's his arrow backpack. So I have no idea why there's gold in it, but it completely confused me. So, thank you, Rudy. Why is his alchemy pouch in there too? What am I been doing? That might be Shadowheart's alchemy pouch. I won't be able to give it to her yet. Well, again, Rudy, thank you. Another illustration of why I love my chat. The weirdest thing. I have no idea why that's there. So now Shadowheart can get that back, and I can go to Shadowheart and move all of those. I thought she had all of those supplies. Oh, as soon as I moved it into her inventory, it picked it up. It picked them up. Forgot about that mechanic.
No one stopped me yet.
Okay, so now let's go back. Thank you, Rudy. I appreciate it. And we will illustrate Stoney and Boney. So you need to have 5,000 gold for this. And then when you go talk to them, you're going to be presented with an option here. We're going to go talk to Boney.
What's up for discussion?
Darling, we have a customer. Is your camp drab? Dreary? Then you have come to the right place. Browse our bespoke Stoney and Boney creations, or commission a statue in your likeness. It is our most sought-after service. Boney, at your service. That there is my darling wife, Stoney. Is she not magnificent? To think she chose me. Why, I wake up every morning with a smile on my face. Now, what can I do for you?
Okay, now there are wares here that you can choose from.
shall be thrilled and delighted. I know it.
And for the most part, you're going to be looking at his scrolls. So Flesh to Stone is really nice to be able to petrify somebody for 3 turns. It's a Constitution save, which is nice against spellcasters who normally have small Constitution saves. To go along with that, you're going to Basilisk Oil, a way to remove the petrification as well. But yeah, Scroll of Wall of Stones, he's normally going to have some decent higher level scrolls here that you can purchase. So that's what you're kind of looking at with him.
Nothing caught your eye? I shan't tell my wife. She'd be most upset.
But now we're going to go talk to him again because we want the other option.
Ah, the adventurer returns. Care to purchase a bespoke Stoney and Boney creation? Oh, my wife shall be delighted. Customs are her favorite, particularly when their facial structure is as unique as yours.
Okay, and you have 3 different types of statues you can pick. One looking just like this, including your helmet, even though it's not showing here. A statue of you, but in your camp clothes. And that's, you want to... Actually, that's a good question. I don't know if the statue changes as you change your camp clothes outfit or not. Or if you change your armor in the future, if it changes. I don't know if the statue updates or not. That's an interesting question. And then you can have a statue of you naked as well. I'm actually going to go this way with this one. I don't think there's a streamer issue with this right now.
Tremendous! Stoney, darling, let us put this towards our getaway in the Moonshay Isles. I'll have your statue shipped to your camp. You shall love it. We guarantee it.
Okay, and now that is going to show up in your camp. Okay, and in camp, it's made out of stone. It appears right over here. Okay, and once you take a long rest, you're going to get a permanent buff. Okay, and that permanent buff is Sweet Stone Features. Okay, now Sweet Stone Features is basically a bless spell. It gives you a 1d4 bonus to attack rolls and saving throws. And it happens automatically whenever you take a long rest. Okay. So what that also means is that since it is identical to the Bless spell, Bless cannot be applied to you. You always have Sweet Stone Features, so Bless cannot stack on top of it. Okay, and that's part of a few different things that offer the same type of stacking in the game. The Liages of the Underdark Blessing, I believe, is another one. And then I think there's a weapon that also grants you Bless. But none of those stack. They all have the same basic condition ID that means that they don't stack with each other. So, but for me, it's just Bless on lower difficulty levels. You also get some other things that go along with it. But for me, it's just Bless here on this level. So now we're finished up here, so let's go over here and talk to Popper.
Oh, hungry little hobgoblin. Want a treato? I has lots of treatos, and magics, and junks I finds. Don't worry. I only takes junks from dead people. I is nice. Oh, lots of times. The beasts ate a kiddo the other day, and I got some good stuffs. I mean, Circus is safe. Do not worry. Yes. Shut up, stupid sweat, piss, incense smeller! Yes! I has lots of stuffs. Just for you.
Okay, and Popper is going to be selling potions and crafting ingredients. Okay, he's going to have some of the best potions in the game. So you want to look through these. Lightning resistance, I definitely want. I'm desperately short on those, and I need a few of them. Don't need the potion of flying. Okay. He also has the dark displacement gloves. You gain a +1 bonus to attack rolls when throwing, and may swap positions with the target if they fail a dexterity saving throw. Sleight of hand +1. Now, these gloves are hilarious to me. And in reality, you can do some very, very creative things with these. I don't know if I want to spend the gold to buy them on this playthrough, and the circus is going to be here for a while, so I don't need to worry about this purchase yet, per se, whether or not I want to make it. I can decide that a little bit later. But for Karlach to be able to swap positions with a target, possibly, they have a chance to make a dexterity saving throw, is very intriguing for me, and I've never utilized it in a playthrough. So I'm kind of anxious to come back and get up enough money that I can come back here and buy these, because I want to try it out and see how useful they are. But for the most part, you're looking at arrows and potions here from Popper. Now there's another interaction.
Come back to Papa soon.
With Popper, and that has to deal with the clown's severed hand here on the table. And I can't remember what happens here. Because again, I didn't test this. I didn't get a chance to test anything. So actually, you know what? I'm not going to test it. I don't want to risk doing something irrevocable here. So we're going to end the stream here by going and talking to Lucretious. We're going to come back. The clown's severed hand, you can see, is marked as orange. It's a quest item. We're going to see why it's a quest item a little bit later. But for now, let's talk to Lucretious.
Lucille! It's pose, grapevine, then pivot step. Jacob, you have the grace of my great-grandmother's missing leg. And Boris, put some sensuality into those lovely hip bones. I know you have it in you. Step it up. Interrupting a massacre? Merkel, help me. These three make the art of dance look like a ritual sacrifice. Call me Lucretious, ringmaster, necromancer, bringer of the night. Oh, and wine lover extraordinaire. Normally, I'd invite you into my tent for a lovely vintage, but these graceless skellies need my full attention. Enjoy my circus, darling.
Okay, now Lucretious, you will notice, has a staff on her back. Okay, that is the Hollow Staff. The Hollow Staff, if you're playing as a Necromancer build, is one of the best items that you can have for your build. Unfortunately, the only way to get it is by killing Lucretious. But if you're playing that sort of build, this is definitely worth it to do. It's a +1 staff, I believe, so, you know, based on what it does, it's not a big, you know, a big damage dealer. And it does 1d4 necrotic damage by itself. The real thing about it, well, I guess one, I think it also gives you the Arms of Hadar spell. But it's either a short rest or a long rest thing. So you won't be really using it for that. The reason it's one of the best things in the game for a Necromancer is the Necromancy perk that goes along with it, where enemies have disadvantage on saving throws against your Necromancy spells. And that means that you can land things like Blight and things like that, which have saving throws to avoid half the damage. You can land those much more reliably and basically double your damage output because they're not resisting it. It's the only item that I know of in the game that grants that Necromancy perk. There's no other spells that do it specifically for Necromancy spells. You can give enemies disadvantage on saving throws through other means, but this will let you land all of those high damaging Necromancy spells and do full damage with them a lot more often. Okay, but again, like I say, the only way to get it is by killing Lucretious. Now, Lucretious also has another item on her that we're going to find out about as a gift to us, as if once we complete the quest that goes along with her. And those gloves are, again, quite powerful and very, very useful for a lot of different builds. So what we have left is this area down here. And you want to be careful on how you do this in the order that you do it. Okay, and I say that because of this area down here. Once you get too close and too far down into this location, a cutscene's going to trigger. And you can't stop it, you can't avoid it. And you want to do a couple of things before that cutscene triggers. Okay? So when we come in next week, we're going to show how to do this encounter in the best possible way, by dealing with both Crimson and Whiskers, Shadow Whiskers, and Karen and Ryland, who are the animal trainers here, while we get ready for Dribbles the Clown, who is up here having a performance. But again, we don't want to get that close and trigger that. So that's where we're going to pick up next week. So things I'm going to do off stream, I'm going to go pick up a couple of items that I need for the interactions over here. Other than that, not a whole lot for me to do. So I'm going to come back here next week and we should be able to proceed right with this. So as always, thank you all for being here. I certainly do appreciate you showing up and for the input that all of you give. I hope you all enjoyed last week's recorded episodes. That happens occasionally as I have things going on here through the holiday season. But again, as always, thank you all for your support, because without your support, none of this would be possible. Remember, the Dragon Age Veilguard livestream is going to be starting in about an hour from now, so I hope to see you there. So until next time, this is Commander Jerval saying, fare thee well.